Woo! We are in Flair Country tonight, I see, for Smackdown in Charlotte, North Carolina. Woo! And once again, we had a lot going on Smackdown tonight, and I got a lot of things to say. It's been a crazy 24 hours, and was it a very newsworthy Raw yesterday? Yes, of course, Roman Reigns putting his cancer in remission, and Batista being back. Heel Batista pretty much is now setting up their match for WrestleMania with Triple H coming up. I'm sure that's going to happen, so get ready for that. Whatever's going on with Ronda Rousey and whatever, the whole Ric Flair celebration. So it's a lot of things going on right now. Don't get me wrong, the rest of the show for Monday Night Raw was just still kind of whatever when you think about it. It was, could have had more, especially with the Ric Flair thing. I felt that was very lackluster, but we all know it was to get an angle over. But I think people really did want to see Flair in that crowd, and they were disappointed to what I heard even after the show with the segment they did. But moving on in the SmackDown tonight in Flair Country itself, we had to kick off the show with a contract signing with Stephanie and Shane McMahon in the ring for Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship at Fastlane. But as Kofi chance came out, Shane pretty much had a very big introduction for Kofi Kingston, a man that has done things for over 11 years. Because, you can call him overnight success if you want, but this is over 11 years, as he said, as they showed multiple clips throughout the years of Kofi Kingston of his, insane saves of getting back into the Royal Rumble match, from him winning a Intercontinental Championship, I believe it was in 08, and then the U.S. one in 09, and being, he's had multiple Intercontinental U.S. Championship reigns, but it was just the first time he won them, and numerous tag team championships, especially the ones with the New Day, because Kofi has won them. Let's be honest, Kofi Kingston has won many tag team titles with different partners from before, okay? From R-Truth to Evan Bourne to CM Punk, and like I said, all the way with the New Day right now. Kofi has had many, many championships, but now it is time for the big one, as he's been overlooked for a long time. He will not be overlooked any longer, as, what he's done in the past few weeks. I know everyone says that, he pretty much did take a spot, because this most likely was Mustafa Ali's spot, but Kofi did get over with the crowd organically anyways, and, since he is pinned the WWE champion and everything, he is now the number one contender for the WWE Championship at Fastlane. Kofi Kingston came out with New Day then. As you know, there was many, many Kofi chants. He took a lap around in the ring. He said it's been 11 years, but now it is his chance to be a champion, okay? And he couldn't have done it without the New Day. People chanted, "You deserve it," at Kofi. And, and he said that it was been by popular demand from social media and public demands, hashtags, everything. He said at Fastlane, he's going to get everyone he wanted, and he's going to do it for his career, that, he would beat Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. But before he could sign his contract, and as he sat down, Vince McMahon's music hit. Of course, these people in the ring, even though they complain about Vince, they all sing and bow down to him when his theme song comes on. But before Kofi could even sign the paper, Vince pretty much say, you've done a lot of accomplishments. It's remarkable what you've done in over 11 years, but it's his duty to give the fans the biggest box office, attraction for the WWE Championship, and who was the most qualified contender. And he says Kofi was going to be replaced. As the New Day pretty much looked pissed then, Vince introduced Kevin Owens, a returning Kevin Owens. We knew Kevin Owens was coming back soon, which I'm assuming Kevin Owens is now back on SmackDown, which is a good thing, because they pretty much murdered him on Monday Night Raw. Kevin Owens was back. He came down to the ring. He didn't really look that different to me. I thought Kevin Owens looked the same. The only thing I could really say that was different about him was he had some new tattoos on his arm, so that's all I can really say. As the fans were shocked to see Kevin Owens replace him, Kofi pretty much, he just kind of looked beaten. He looked defeated right there, as the New Day pretty much were pissed and asking Shane Stephanie to do something. But as the New Day pretty much left, Owens was in the ring. He sat down and, he signed the contract, and, fans like 11 years of nothing pretty much. As, Owens and, pretty much stared at Bryan. They just stared at each other, and there you go. Listen, we knew Kevin Owens was coming back soon anyways. Didn't really know when, but this was very interesting to see. Now, there's a lot of possibilities to where this can go. Because right now, with Kevin Owens taking Kofi Kingston's spot at Fastlane, this pretty much tells me now this is going to be a very, very big chance that Kofi Kingston is going to win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, and the match will happen. I'm really now starting to believe that, because with the New Day being pissed off and gaining sympathy for the crowd, which, you know, Vince, the troll artist that he is, pretty much replacing someone else, fucking with the fans right now. Almost, you know, similar with similar with the whole Becky thing when you think about it, because it's almost like the kind of the same stuff, but it's almost like the same thing when you think about it, because they pretty much did with Becky. Becky was about to get her title shot against Ronda at WrestleMania. What do? They bring Charlotte out to take it away from her, and it's almost like the same thing now. Pretty much, Kofi's about to get his shot at, you know, the title. But what do? They replace him and put Kevin Owens in. Now, I'm not going to say this is going to end up like a triple threat match at WrestleMania. It could be, for all I know, okay? Because right now, and we're going to get into Kevin Owens later on, because now people wondering, is he a face? Is he heel? What is Kevin Owens, okay? What is he supposed to be and everything? If he is a, you know, a face or heel. Because how I'm looking at it right now, like I said before, Kofi just pretty much now tells me that Kofi will get his shot. Not at Fastlane, but now it's going to be something where he's going to get his shot at WrestleMania. And I do believe that's going to happen. And most likely he will win the WWE Championship. Hell, for all I know, I would like it if he main evented WrestleMania to win the WWE Championship. They don't main event this title anyways anymore. I'm glad it did the last pay-per-view, but I feel like it won't. It barely main events any show, really. It doesn't. And Elimination Chamber is one thing. I would love it if it be a WrestleMania, but I don't feel like it's going to happen, no. But it would be a big moment, though, if it did happen. But, you know, going on in, you know, like I said, pretty much looking at this right now, especially when Kevin Owens was talking to Shane Stephanie, says, you know, he was happy that he has, you know, the title shot and everything, and he respects, you know, what his father has done, you know, to his industry. But he said that it doesn't really matter now, but he said Kofi, he was, you know, deserving for that title shot. And he said he wanted to tag with Kofi Kingston tonight to face Eric Rowan and, you know, Daniel Bryan tonight on Smackdown. So right now, and we're going to get in the match later on, I could say he was, I guess he was more of a face out there. But listen, Kevin Owens can turn it heel anytime, anywhere. You don't know where he will turn heel. For all we know, he could screw anyone over. Now, do I think if it is a one-on-one match, which I'm sure, well, we already know it's a one-on-one match, but if it's going to be some shenanigans, could Kevin Owens win a WWE Championship? I don't think so. Maybe. I'm not really sure. But like I said, he just got back here. But right now, this is mostly building sympathy for Kofi Kingston. Because if we're not going to do it at Fastlane, this, like I said before, this pretty much is telling me this is just jumping him up the ship that he will get his title shot at WrestleMania. I do believe that. And most likely he will win. Could it be a triple threat between him and Owens and Daniel Bryan? I don't know. Okay, I don't know right now. Like I said before, though, I am glad that Kevin Owens is on SmackDown. We don't know when Sami Zayn's coming back. I don't know when that's gonna happen, because it's best he's on this show, because they fucking murdered this guy when he was on Raw. But with one return being on SmackDown tonight, we got another return, which Cesaro, I believe he was supposed to face. I don't know if it was gonna be the Bar versus Gargano and Ciampa again, but I think it was gonna be Cesaro versus Gargano. But since they did not have both of these guys, I believe, on the show. Now, I know they were on Raw last night, because you saw them at the end for the Ric Flair, you know, when they were all standing out on stage. I still think it's odd to see Tommaso Ciampa as a face. And wow, we had the NXT champion and North American champion, well, former North American champion, on the show to begin with. Like, why were they even there? It's just odd seeing Ciampa as a face. And I don't know, maybe they're going to keep him NXT at this point, I don't know, but we got to see the return of the Hardy Boys. Matt Hardy was back and, you know, wrestling again. I would say Matt looked good out here. Matt looked great. Matt looked in better shape, okay? I know people said months ago that Matt Hardy was done wrestling, looking at his tweets back then, and everybody thought he retired. I didn't really think Matt Hardy was done. I just think Matt needed some time off, because then there was at one point when Matt was taking some time off because I believe it was his spine, if I'm not mistaken. And he was kind of gone after, Extreme Rules with the whole Bray Wyatt, broken, woken, whatever type of thing going on. Where is he, by the way, nowadays, too? Right, him and JoJo, when you think about it. They were pretty much gone after, Matt took some time off, and people thought, when he was in a suit, they thought he was an agent backstage. But mostly, if you see Matt Hardy's Twitter, he's mostly just either been hanging with his family or doing some broken thing or whatever Matt Hardy does on Twitter. But some people thought this was a one-time thing with Matt and Jeff being back together, because this was just Hardy Boys. This wasn't really broken or woken Matt. Some people believe because it was in that North Carolina area. Both these guys are from, they're from Cameron, North Carolina, the Hardy Boys, but, still in Carolina in general. This match was pretty good for what it was, kind of quick, with, the Hardys going against the Bar. Twist of Fate, Swanton Bomb by Jeff on the Sheamus, winning the match. Hardy celebrate, delete chants all over the place. So, there you go. Some people thought this was a one-time thing, but, I think they are back as a team, the Hardys. Like, I'm going to be honest, I said this months ago. Listen, they fucked up this whole broken, woken thing. Then WWE never knew what to do with it to begin with. I know we had to wait on it because of the whole, Impact, Impact thing that was going on when they left there, and Jeff Jarrett's ass, and how that came into a whole legal dispute over the whole gimmick in general. And then when WWE had it, never really kind of jumped off anywhere. Yeah, they did an ultimate deletion thing, but I never thought it was better as the first final deletions and all this stuff. And honestly, him and Bray Wyatt, the tag scene, never really lived up to anything. I never really was a fan of it. Didn't really go anywhere, and they just kind of lost the titles, and that was it. It was most of the time, Matt Hardy was talking to a goldfish, if I remember. It didn't have the same thing like they did in Impact, but I said it many times and before about the whole broken, woken thing. Matt was going to have input in this, but I really never believed he was going to have creative control. Like, I honestly believe that. In Impact and other, like, indies and stuff, of course, they let Matt Hardy run wild with it, and it got over as fuck, especially in TNA, and it was great. It was awesome. It sucked when they had to leave. Like I said, blame Jeff Jarrett and blame Global Force Wrestling for that bullshit. But, just seeing Matt back in general, it was great to see him. Like I said, could the Hardys be a team again on here? Yes, because this show desperately needs tag teams, because you cannot depend on 3 tag teams, okay? Because all you really have is the Bar, the Usos, which are the champions right now, and the New Day. But the New Day are pretty much more occupied with the whole WWE Championship, mostly Kofi Kingston. So the New Day's kind of occupied if you looked at it already. Sanity, where are they? I don't know, catering as usual, I'm assuming. They ain't got nothing going on. Gallows and Anderson, I'm surprised they still haven't went back to the real Bullet Club yet, to be honest with you all. What are they doing right now? And I guess Shane and Miz is still a thing, which they were supposed to do some with the Usos, if I think I was correct tonight, but that never even happened. So, we just kind of skipped over that. But, like I said, it was really great to see. Like I said, great to see the Hardy Boys back again. And like I said, if they are a tag team, and once again, Matt Hardy was on Raw, so now he was on SmackDown. Please, let's keep him at a team, because this show needs tag teams, all right? SmackDown really does need some tag teams right now when you think about it. But after the Hardys, they talked about Nakamura and Rusev versus Ricochet and Aleister Black back again, which I guess they are permanent on the roster. I don't know. We're just bringing NXT guys up out of nowhere nowadays, and I guess they're on the main roster. But as Lana came up, she looked at Ricochet and says, "You are not nothing special," and that Aleister Black is ordinary, and they respected champions are veterans, but Ricochet that, I'm known for proving people wrong all the time, because Rusev can't crush what he can't catch, pretty much. As Black pretty much said that, everything's written in flesh, and that Nakamura and Rusev would fade to black. So I'm assuming Ricochet and Aleister Black are a tag team now, if I'm correct. I'm going to assume, but I'm not sure. One thing I can announce right now, the Honky Tonk Man will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. There was a video package too. I never really grew up around the Honky Tonk Man. I didn't grow up in the 80s watching wrestling, but he does deserve it. I know the whole theme song and everything. No shake, rattle, and roll, because Honky Tonk Man was like one of the longest Intercontinental champions for 64 weeks, if I'm correct, and please correct me if I'm wrong, until he lost it to Ultimate Warrior and what was it, seconds if I remember, at SummerSlam. I think it was 1988. Yeah, it was against Ultimate Warrior. So I know that was a thing at the time. Yeah, I like I said, I don't know not Ultimate Warrior, but Honky Tonk's whole match history and everything, but he is well deserved. And I would only say I do enjoy from Honky Tonk. I do enjoy his shoot interviews though. And listen, I've seen Honky Tonk Man shit on the company several times in the past, but that was the past. Like, come on, I've seen him shit on the Hall of Fame. That, you know, it's not a Hall of Fame. Which, and again, you know, the WWE Hall of Fame has been looked like as a joke for years now because of the people who they put in. Like, I've said it before, they wait till half these motherfuckers is dead until they put them in the damn Hall of Fame. Okay, they really do. So you know, there you go. But you know, some say the greatest intercontinental champion of all time is now going into the Hall of Fame now. So Honky Tonk Man, he deserves it though. He does. But I do get a kick out of his shoot interviews though. They are hilarious if you look them up. They really are that funny of who he shits on. But you know, that was long ago, and I'm sure maybe his mindset is different. I don't know, but if you ever get a chance, you know, look it up. Like, Kevin Nash, you only said you didn't draw out the garden. I'm trying to remember what he said. It was one of those hilarious. He said one about, what was it, Goldberg kicking Bret Hart in the fucking head, and now you got a limp. But you know, he was going in on folks though. But you know, Honky Tonk Man, you know, such a great character back then, and you know, the WWF days of the '80s. So well deserved. R-Truth came out, which we have not seen him in a long time. The United States champion. Truth came out, and ever since he was a little kid, he wanted to be like his hero John Cena, which both of those guys I believe are nearly the same age anyways. And he wanted to continue in his footsteps by having an open challenge for the U.S. Championship. And next thing you know, Andrade Cien Almas came out to the ring, but Rey Mysterio came out, knocked him from behind, and he wanted a title shot. But Truth said, "No, this is a dilemma right now. What do I do in moments like this? And what would John Cena do?" Which I'm kind of annoyed with that for some reason. Carmelo said John Cena would face both opponents. And Truth said, "Well, you know, damn, he's brave, but I'm going to do it anyways." And this was actually a really good match that was very enjoyable, which these guys went in. One thing I did like when, you know, when Ray does that slide, like that slide from under the ring onto the ground, he was going to do it on Truth, but Andrade kicked him with almost, you know, he kicked him in midair pretty much. And before he could fall, and drop kicked him, which was pretty cool. And even after the commercial, I thought this was a cool ass spot. Truth pretty much had Andrade in like the whole electric chair thing, but Ray pretty much jumped off the springboard off the ropes into a Hurricane Rana to the ground. Looked fucking amazing, let me say that. This was a lot of crazy stuff going on. Truth hitting, you know, pretty much going to the ring with a cross body. Andrade hitting the double knees on Mysterio, which, you know, Truth pretty much avoiding, hit a scissors kick after that. Even doing a 5-knuckle shuffle, which, you know, they did boo at Cena, but of course they're going to say, "You can't see me then." And pretty much Carmella and Zelina Vega got involved. That Carmella had to take her off the apron. Ray was going to go for a 619 on Andrade, but he dodged it. Was going to go for the hammerlock, but, you know, pushed Ray back. And after they pretty much reversed, Ray pretty much knocked, well, he was actually going to be a German, but Ray pretty much kicked both guys into the 619. He hit Andrade with a 619, but Truth rolled up Mysterio for the win. So Truth got out of there with the U.S. Championship. But, you know, I guess this is still a feud with Almas and Rey Mysterio, which that kind of felt like it fell off. I didn't even know these two were still in a feud, to be honest, which everybody's saying it's going to play up in a WrestleMania, but I actually thought it was already over. Maybe, I don't know, most likely it will, because people have been rumoring that for a long time now. And with Truth winning, Almas tried to attack Ray with a hammerlock DDT, but Ray knocked him into a 619, but Almas got out of there then. But it was actually a really cool triple threat match, I will say that, from, you know, for open challenge. Now, some people think and, you know, people been saying this, that Truth will lose the title at Fastlane, which maybe it's going to be something where Almas is going to say that you pin Rey Mysterio. Now you must face Almas at Fastlane. And then everybody say it's going to be some WrestleMania match with Almas and Rey, which would tear down the house, and you probably most likely could steal the show, really, because we've seen these guys put on great matches for a number of weeks not that long ago with both of them. So yeah, because Ray and Almas were killing in the main event of Smackdown at one point. So could happen again. I don't know. Could it be a triple threat at Mania? I don't know with Truth. I don't know. I just, you know, it was a great match from all three of these guys. Like, despite all the silly shit we see with Truth's still that fucking great in the ring, people. Don't let the whole silliness fool you, okay? Truth is still that dude in the ring. So all three of these guys put on a great match. Next thing you know, Charlotte came out, Flair Country, of course. I still think she sounds like a robot when talking, because everything she said, like, it was just very monotone, and said that everyone saw early tonight with Vince putting, Kevin Owens in for Kofi at Fastlane, but this something's better, that Vince pretty much anointed me at WrestleMania to go against Ronda Rousey. But, she talked about how, Rousey stay in the lane, and she talked about all the media, cherry main events that Charlotte's done. That she is the gold standard. I don't know, Shelton Benjamin, I guess. But then she pretty much called out Ronda and Becky for what happened on Monday, and that they both fear her, and that I should say that Charlotte has zero fear, or I could say Cero Medio, Pentagon Jr. there if I wanted to go with that. But pretty much, what was I gonna say? She said that Becky is afraid, and that she's being exposed to be a fraud because she's got arrested, and that Ronda is afraid of her from taking a beating of a lifetime like she got at Survivor Series, and that she fears nothing and no one. So there you go. Charlotte is, she is Cero Medio. That's what she is. She has zero fear. And she talked about, I guess it was a promo from Ronda when she said that, back in November during Survivor Series time, and said the champion's always here to defend and never backs down. And that Charlotte said the difference between, both of us, that she will never lay down, that she will never quit and put down the title, because she is the true champion. And she said, next Monday on Raw, she's going to show up so Vince McMahon can give her the women's champion. And she pointed at the sign, and that was it. But it was a good promo from Charlotte. I will say that, even though I still think she sounds like a robot, just like she was memorizing word for word, just doing that. But it was still good. And even though I felt like she was talking slow at one point, which I feel like they've had Charlotte cut multiple promos on SmackDown now for the past few weeks. I know some people said that she didn't even mention, I guess, her dad getting beat up by Batista last night, which, my whole prediction was wrong about that, because Batista was really the farthest thing from my mind when that whole thing happened. And I had to notice that Charlotte was never even out there during her whole, dad's 70th birthday and everything. But we already know that he had a surprise party anyway before this whole thing. Y'all segment they did on Raw, but we already know why I was on Raw, to get it over. So we know the reason why, because of that. But like I said, a good promo from Charlotte, and I gotta say, man, say one, but Charlotte looked good. Okay, everybody said Charlotte looked really good. I don't know why. Some of it all black, I say, looked really good. And I will say, I read this like a day or two ago, because somebody told me this, but no, if that whole rumor is true about Almas, he hit that, and he's with her. Hey, man, hats off to you. Good shit. Good fucking shit, man. That's a great pick. I don't blame him for that, man. Los Cinco Bernables, I could say that. I gotta wear the hat, man. Good for him if, he really did hit Charlotte, though. That's the whole rumor that's going around right there. But she looked real good. But great choice. Great choice. But pretty much as Charlotte left, we were ready for the tag match then. Nakamura and Rusev, which got no televised entrance, versus Ricochet and Aleister Black. This was a good match, I will say that. Would I have liked to see a Nakamura versus Aleister Black match? Hell yeah, I would. But this would have been when Nakamura was probably on NXT a couple years ago, or before they kind of ruined Nakamura and before they made him an afterthought at this point. All I can really say is this was a really good tag match. I will say that. You kind of knew Rusev and Nakamura were going to lose anyways. I will say at least they did not get buried like they did the Revival last night and killed them in about 2 minutes. And they were the tag team champions, folks, and they were murdered in 2 minutes on Raw. But at least on SmackDown, we got a very competitive match. Nakamura was about to hit the Kinshasa on Black, but Black pretty much dodged. He hit a Black mask for the win, and he got it from there. So a really good match. Where do I see Nakamura and Rusev going? I have no idea. I even forgot they were on TV at one point because they were gone for nearly 3 weeks until they just announced a match now that they were going against, Ricochet and Black, which you knew who they were going to lose to. So I didn't know they were even still a team or whatever the hell they are, because I said before, the reason why they get these two together because they got nothing for them. That's why. And that's why they're a team. I'm sure people still want, Nakamura, AEW, New Japan Cup. I'm already hearing those things already. They didn't talk to AJ Styles in the back. They talked to AJ Styles in the back. And, talked about he was happy that Roman Reigns was in remission. And that, they talked about AJ being a slump in the first time in his career because, he's always been the best around here. But he was not able to regain the WWE Championship. And, AJ says he's responsible for the rise of Daniel Bryan, but he says he's not going to stop trying. He's going to pick himself, dust himself off, and rise up to the next challenger because it's the house that AJ Styles built. Randy Orton walks off. He said, the house that AJ what? And he walked away, which is pretty much now insta-feud AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, which everybody's been saying that's most likely it's going to happen in Mania, if I'm not mistaken, or most likely Fastlane for all I know. But we all know Orton's heel, AJ's face, so insta-feud. These two got nothing going on because who else were they going to have AJ face? Joe again? I hope to God not, because we knew who was going to win that feud, and I was tired of that feud already. Grandpa Simpson, Lacey Evans came out and did her lap in the back and forth again, which I'm now sitting here wondering what is the point of this, because if we keep doing this now, it's almost like why the fuck was this girl even brought up and where is this going? Happens on a pay-per-view, happens on Raw, happens on Smackdown. What is it, the 5th time now if I'm not mistaken? I'm wondering what is the point of this, okay? Seriously, what is literally the point of this? I have no idea, but I'm pretty much now saying who really gives a shit what Lacey Evans does now, other than be Grandpa Simpson and make a lap back forth down the ring, but back to the back now. Now I'm sitting wondering, like I said already, why was she even brought up from NXT? Think about that, folks, because I don't even understand why. So there you go. But other than, her walking back and forth. By the way, where the fuck was Asuka tonight? Champion loses last week, not even on TV this week. Think about that, folks. Think about that. But what else? They played the Roman Reigns video package from last night with his remission announcement. And I think it showed some, footage from Good Morning America. Yeah, I know he was on there this morning. I was going to see that, but I had to leave out this morning. I didn't get a chance to see that interview. But I'm sure it was good, and they played some clips of it. But in the main event, Kofi Kingston and Kevin Owens went against Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan. This was a good match, I will say, for what it was. Rowan back in the ring again, which he wasn't bad at that point. I will say he wasn't really that bad, but I'm surprised he wasn't even taking a pin here. He was going to be the fall guy for this. But I feel like, first off, I was surprised Daniel Bryan took the pin, okay? I really was surprised he took the pin here, and that didn't make a lot of sense to me going on from this. Because Kevin Owens pretty much won with a Stone Cold Stunner, if you want to go with that, and win in the match. So I was actually surprised to see that. That really did surprise me. And I feel like everybody's just pinning Daniel Bryan. You think Rowan be the fall guy, but for some reason the pin the champion is just, we're pinning him now and more that what is the point to do this? But because he's taking a lot of clean pinfalls, okay? He really is a lot of clean pinfalls. I can count it on that. He's just taking pinfall after pinfall after pinfall. So don't know why but Daniel Bryan keeps taking a lot of pinfalls for some reason. I don't know why. You think the champion would be protected more and more, but now he's got to do something to get his heat back now, and I feel like he's got to get it back by next week, because isn't it the go home show before Fastlane? Because I think we got another 2 weeks. I'm not really sure what the go home show is, but we shall see. But it's kind of odd that the champion keeps taking more pinfalls on SmackDown, and that Eric Rowan, his fall guy, and the fact that he won with a Stone Cold Stunner, I was actually surprised to see that, and not by a pop up power bomb or anything. But hey, maybe Stone Cold Stunner is not part of his moveset now. I will say Kevin Owens still looked the same to me. Nothing really that different, but he was good out here, and he was, face with Kofi, which, I guess they shook hands, I guess, in the end, or just kind of tolerated each other at the end. So, that's how the show ended. All I could say is SmackDown was really good, just like Monday Night Raw. Way better shows this week. I can say that. We got to see the Hardys return. We got to see Kevin Owens return, pretty much taking Kofi Kingston's spot away at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, not WrestleMania, but at Fastlane. But I've already explained this earlier that, this is pretty much going to end up with Kofi getting a title shot at WrestleMania. Charlotte's promo was pretty good for, what it was. I'm sorry we didn't have no Becky attack again, even though they just had to recreate the whole Stone Cold thing, if you ask me, where they're getting arrested, which just somewhat lackluster in a way, too. Ricochet and Aleister Black continue to shine. A very good triple threat match between Rey Mysterio, Almas, and R-Truth for the U.S. Championship in that open challenge. A very enjoyable, triple threat match. So I will say that. There's one thing I do want to address, though, before I get out of here with this review, and I didn't get a chance to explain this in the Monday Night Raw review yesterday. I will say this about the recent releases and creative changes with the company right now. I know it's been a lot of news about this, so I'm going to give my quick thought about it on this. Hideo Itami, we knew he asked for his release, so I'm not really surprised he's gone. What hurt Itami in the end was just injuries, okay? Itami was really good, but he was on NXT forever, and I just feel like nothing ever really kind of... I wouldn't say it's his fault all the way, but it's just he got hurt 2 times, and that people starting to care. And I think what even kind of messed with him also, I think they were probably mad at, was when, if you remember, he did a GTS, I believe it was like his second week on Raw, on Brian Kendrick, and I remember it was on Christmas night last year, and he broke his nose. So I think Itami will just go back to, Kenta. He'll go back to Pro Wrestling Noah, and maybe Ring of Honor, maybe AEW for all I know, since everyone wants to go to AEW. So there you go. And I like Itami. It's a shame what happened. He just got hurt. That was what fucked him up. Ty Dillinger, they never really did anything with him to begin with. They really didn't, the whole Perfect 10. So I'm assuming he's going to go to AEW also. So I wouldn't be surprised by that. But then people saying, oh, the guy's 38 years old. What is he going to do? I don't know what Ty Dillinger can do. But we already know he asked for his release. So there you go. He's gone too. TJ Perkins, to what I heard, that WWE was mad about his new tattoos in the back, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how true that is, or somebody's behavior, because I didn't really notice tattoos till recently. I think Perkins will be okay, but then again, like Tommy, what the fuck are they really doing with half those cruiserweight guys on 205 in to begin with? Maybe I need to watch the show more. I know it's gotten better, but that's what a lot of those guys, when you think about it, like, where are they really going in this whole cruiserweight thing? I know they're doing a tournament right now, all the way into WrestleMania, to see whoever faces Buddy Murphy, which will probably be on the kickoff show to begin with. I know they moved Ali up to the main roster, but I've said before, you need to put Cedric Alexander on there, or Buddy Murphy themselves. These guys need to be main roster guys, if you ask me, in 205. But I don't know, man. You can say that about half of 205. That I'm surprised more of those guys weren't even released. That, they just lost Perkins and Itami, and the Arn Anderson one, that really confused me. So what I hear, that him and Vince was in a shouting match, because the strangest thing to me, that why would you fire this guy like a few days before Ric Flair's birthday celebration on Raw? You think you'd see the 4 Horsemen out there? We didn't really see any of the 4 Horsemen out there, if you want to count Sting, but he wasn't even a 4 Horsemen for that long to begin with, if you want to go back in history. And you didn't see them, and you just kind of saw some of Evolution out there. We already know where that went, but I was very surprised to see that Arn Anderson was gone from the company. And I know there's been a lot of creative changes in who they've been hiring. Number one, I know they got new producers, which it's kind of funny to me that they hired half the TNA roster who's on creative, and somehow they got them to come together to be Jeff Jarrett. Dude's a fucking sellout anyways, whatever, but we already know why Jeff Jarrett's there. So he's a producer on the show now. And Abyss, which still surprises me that he even left Impact, Sanjay Dutt and Daivari, and now they've hired Bruce Pritchard back. That was that's one of like Vince's right hand guys, like in his inner circle, if you want to know that, for years. I don't know what Bruce Pritchard knows. Now I know there's been people saying the reason why they hired him back. So what I heard, Vince doesn't like the new creative, like he doesn't like creative, so he wanted to make things edgier, to what I heard. That's why he hired new people and brought some of his old staff back, I guess now, like Pritchard. The thing to what I hear, the reason why they brought him back, because if you know, he does that podcast with that Conrad guy, which is in charge of StarCast, and some people look at it as that WWE's getting payback because, hey, you guys got Undertaker now for StarCast. We're going to take Bruce Pritchard. There you go. That's been to what I've been reading, but I don't know. Listen, I know Pritchard was there before. He's been part of a creative team in the past for a long time because I think he was fired in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. I know some people look at him as a kiss ass in a way. I do believe he somewhat weaseled his way back because I remember that motherfucker was on Impact or that Global Force thing, and then he was kind of gone quick. He was like part of creative, and then he was kind of gone after that. And then the guy ended up going back to WWE with his podcast being on the network, and now he has a creative position. He has a creative position with WWE, a major creative position. I don't know. Is Vince going to start hiring all his creative team back? Is Dutch Mantel coming back? Hell, I wouldn't be fucking surprised if Vince Russo came back knowing this company. Do I feel like they're desperate hiring people back? Hell yeah, okay. They know the ratings suck. They know the product sucks. So now they're in desperation mode, and I feel like they were going to hire anybody. And I wouldn't be surprised if they hired Vince Russo. Would they be crazy enough to? Hell yeah, they'd be crazy enough to. And I wouldn't be fucking surprised if they did, okay? So there you go. So if Vince Russo came back in the company right now, what are they going to do? That Vince McMahon, was it Jim Cornette said one time, hey, these 100 ideas are bullshit, but I'll take this one good one when Vince McMahon's standing over him, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised if they hired Vince Russo back, okay? I hear people all the time say the creative team sucks so bad they need him back. What do I need to see? Viagra on a pole match? I don't know whether that's going to make it better, but I don't know. We don't know what they have done yet. I don't know what their moves are yet in the company right now from new producers and creative members, okay? I hope it's better than the bullshit they put on TV right now. I hope it is if you want to hire your old regime back. So if Vince, and I'll say this right now, if Vince Russo is hired back, don't say I didn't tell you first. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, people. But, just speaking on the whole releases and creative team changes, I could say a very good episode of SmackDown. Like I said, very good episode for SmackDown and Raw this week in general. Like I already said earlier, returns, all that. But all I can end off here and say is that, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought about SmackDown tonight. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. Look it up if you need to. Like I said before, HoodedKnight890. There you go, folks. Follow me on Twitter. And, just tell me what you thought about SmackDown tonight. What was your favorite thing? What was your least favorite thing on this show? And, just tell me what you thought. It's been a very interesting couple days in wrestling the past 48 hours right now. And some good shit, too, when you think about it. But I'm going to go. I'm out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out. Woo! Because it's Flair Country, folks. Charlotte, North Kakalaki there. And put up a hearty sign just like this because it's in North Carolina. I'm out of here. Peace out.